overall, it's a lot better than I expected. Now, I've been on a digital minimalism journey for almost a year now, and within that year, I've been trying to find my perfect phone. I've tried dumb phones, minimalist phones, dumbed down smartphones, Apple and Android, and recently I've been trying out some flip phones. Now, I've even gone back and tried to use flip phones from 2007. I've tried to use modern flip phones such as the CAT S22 Flip, but all of those have been missing some key features that I need. For example, I really need Google Maps to navigate when I'm out and walking about. Unfortunately, when I was using my CAT S22 Flip, I really tried to make it work. I increased the font size, I increased all the icon sizes, installed a custom launcher to really help myself be able to visualize the screen a bit more, but unfortunately the screen size was still too small for my use case. I think it's an excellent device and can work for a lot of people, but just not for me. So I decided to take a look at modern flip phones. Modern flip smartphones per se. There are a lot of devices out there, most notably the Samsung Flips. And when I was looking at those devices, first, a lot of them were very expensive. The older models are affordable, so I was looking at the Flip 4 or the Flip 5. And honestly, I kind of wanted to try a modern version of a classic. Now, my first flip phone was the Motorola RAZR. I really love this phone. It was my everything. And at the time I had bought it secondhand and it was a great phone until the screen broke. Now I wanted to give Motorola another try in 2024. So I decided to purchase the Motorola RAZR 2023. Why did I choose the 2023 version? Well, I was looking at all the different versions for the Motorola RAZR and I found that this one fit my lifestyle as a digital minimalist. The newer Motorola RAZRs have a screen on the outside of the device, and so does this one, but a lot smaller and a lot more of exactly what I'm looking for. The Motorola RAZR 2023 is also perfect without a case. It has a leatherette kind of finish, and since the screen folds on itself, you do not need a third-party screen protector. It actually comes with its own screen protector, and it says do not remove it at any cost, otherwise you'll be removing the coating of the phone. I also like the design, I like the thinness, and overall I really liked this phone, and I decided to purchase it secondhand from Amazon Renewed. I got this phone for just under $300, and I found it's a good price, and this phone is excellent for the price range. This is a mid-range device, it's not a flagship, but honestly, most of the features work just as well as my Google Pixel. So I wanted to create a first impressions video because there are a lot of things when you're setting up a device or when you're first using a device, you kind of forget over time. So I really wanted to create this first impressions video before I forgot those things. So when you're setting up the device, when I set up this Motorola RAZR 2023, it goes through the standard Android setup process where you connect your Google account and of course, all of that goes with it. So once I did that and I entered the phone, I noticed there was some key differences between stock Android of Google Pixel and the Motorola skin of Android. Motorola gives you some extra options such as customization for the look of your device. Most Androids come standard, of course, you can change your wallpaper, font size, and things like that. But I did like that Motorola gave the option to change what the icons looked like. Not only the outline of the icons, but the icons themselves. Normally, I'm installing a custom launcher to do this, and with Motorola, I was able to change my icons to white icons, which helped them stand out on the dark background for my visual impairment. I find this very useful, and I was very appreciative that it came stock with this device. I like the overall feel of the customization menu, the way you can change the colors, of course, the sizes of everything, and I found the largest font size and the largest icon size really matched what I needed for my visual impairment, and I'm very appreciative of that. There are also additional accessibility features that I enabled. Now, one negative part is the bloatware that comes with devices that are not stock Android. Of course, being Android, you come with all of the Google services, but being a Motorola device, it also comes with some apps installed and even some social media that came pre-installed, which I was not happy about. It came with, I believe, LinkedIn and TikTok, and I uninstalled them multiple times and they kept reappearing, but eventually they disappeared completely and I was happy with it. The Motorola bloatware is quite limited. I think there are 3 or 4 apps that come with Motorola, and one of those apps I found actually quite useful. It's called Motorola Unplugged. Essentially, you can choose the apps that you want to see, and you can even change the look of the device while it's in this unplugged mode. You can add, for example, I added my phone, my messages, and my camera application, and I changed the wallpaper so that way if I were to open my device, I know that it's in the unplugged mode. You won't be disturbed with notifications, and you can't access unnecessary apps. This feature is great if you're somebody who is not extremely addicted. When I first started my digital minimalism journey, this app would not have been enough to stop me from unlocking the unplugged app, plus adding applications and reinstalling apps that I shouldn't be doom scrolling on. But now that I've gotten more awareness and understanding of how I use my devices and my relationship with those devices, I'm able to use these applications more successfully and really appreciate the key features within them. So I am keeping this app. The other bloatware, take it or leave it. It's not necessary, of course, but it's really minimal. Now, my first impressions of the device itself, I was really worried about the bend point in the screen. I've tried Samsung Fold devices and I was really irritated by the look of the fold in the screen, but I find with this Motorola it is really not noticeable, especially when you're using dark backgrounds, and I'm using dark mode most of the time, so I'm not really seeing that there is a fold area. And since this device is quite long, especially compared to the Samsung Fold, when you're swiping or going through menus, you don't even touch the fold area, so you're not really noticing it, and that's a big plus. Speaking of the device size, when the device is opened up, I think it's a 6.2-inch display, and it is a bit larger than my Google Pixel, but it's also quite thin. This device is super light and easy to hold in the hands, and honestly easy to use one-handed. But one thing that's not easy to do one-handed is close the flip aspect of the device. I find that each time I close the phone, I need to use 2 hands to close it, and that's not really convenient for a flip phone, but it's something I can work around. And one way I can work around it is by using the outer display screen. Now, this screen is not just a notification for your time and date. You can actually access apps. You can choose which apps you want to appear. You can access your camera application or any other apps you want to access directly from the small screen. You can also view your notifications, and my favorite feature is accessing the control panel. So I don't have to open my device, swipe down, and turn on or off airplane mode or access my flashlight. Being able to access the control panel directly from the outside display saves me a lot of time and saves me from opening up my device and accidentally stumbling into some apps that I don't want to be wasting time in. I found this feature super helpful, and honestly, I've opened my phone a lot less by having this feature and only accessing those notifications that I've enabled on my device. There are some negative first impressions I've had from this device. Like I said, some of the bloatware, as well as the battery life. I read online that there were some negative reviews on the battery life. Overall, the battery is definitely usable. I can get through a day with no problem, but I was shocked in standby mode that this device loses on average about 5 to 6% in an 8-hour period. When I went to bed, the phone was charged about 93%, and when I woke up, it was 84, 85%, and I was a bit shocked because it was in airplane mode, and it shouldn't be losing that much battery in standby. But, that's the price you pay for some devices. Some of them aren't as optimized as others, and that's fine. Honestly, I don't use my phone heavily. I'm a very light user, so I can get through a full day. But if you're somebody who is a heavier user, just keep this in mind. You might have to recharge the device if you're using Bluetooth, navigation, and a lot of features simultaneously. Another big downside, or I kind of knew when I ordered the device, was the camera. If you're looking to have the most beautiful pictures, the highest quality video, this is not the device for you. This is a mid-range device, and the camera kind of reflects that. I noticed there was a weird color balance or oversaturation of the photos and videos. This is fine for in the moment shots or videos of family and things that you want to share. no problem. But if you're a content creator, this is not the device for you. I honestly didn't find the options very helpful, and there wasn't enough options for the video. Overall, my first impressions of this device are positive. I definitely prefer the Motorola RAZR 2023 compared to my CAT S22 Flip. It's like night and day. They're both smart devices, but if you choose to dumb down your smart device, you can make it into a dumb phone, and that's essentially what I've done with this phone as well. I don't know how long it's going to last me. I don't know how long I'll feel good about this device. It's only the first couple days. These are just my first impressions. And maybe in a month or two, I will have a longer form review with some more critiques and more specifics about how this device is fitting into my digital minimalist lifestyle. I am looking to do a giveaway on some of my devices. The CAT S22 Flip will definitely be first on the list. So keep an eye out for that in September. And thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.